Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. We wish you all the best in 2022. We are speaking to Brock Duncan about season 4 of Cobra Kai, which is streaming now on Netflix. Welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
I'm really curious about the audition process and the part in the early stages. How much did you know about what you were kind of getting yourself into? Did you know that you were a bully? Did you know you were associated with Daniel LaRusso? Like, what did you know, Brock?
So when they auditioned me, they said I was going in for a bully.
Okay.
And I'm a super sensitive person. So I'm not really like the bully type. And they said they wanted someone big and buff. And so I was about to not go in for the audition. But we ended up going anyway, and I am super glad I ended up going in. But it was very nice. I think I auditioned, they called me back, and then I got the role.
Wow.
I think that's how it happened, but it was such a great experience auditioning, reading Zach's material. Yeah, it was really nice.
And it feels like it's been out for a long time, season 4. It hasn't even been a week, not even a month.
No, not at all.
How's it been on your end? I mean, I knew we talked about before. I mean, you knew there was going to be like this craziness. You knew a little bit about the Cobra Kai fan base, but
For sure, yeah.
it's hitting pretty hard right now, right?
Oh, yes. I mean, when I first announced I was going to be on it, I mean, they went crazy.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. They went it was fascinating. And then when I finally was there, they went even more crazy.
It's amazing. I mean, it's one of those things. I think it's just kind of the situation that your character Zach is in because, you know, season 4 is out. A lot of things are happening in season 4. A lot of fan theories people are talking about. A lot of people are talking about the Kenny Anthony rivalry, and your character is like right in there to the point where like a fastball's been thrown down the middle of all these theories. You know, is Zach gonna join a dojo? Is he gonna, change sides, change allegiance? Like, that's interesting to think about too, right?
For sure, yeah.
Have you noticed that though, that there's intrigue with your character from a lot of what you were seeing online and everything?
Oh yeah. I've seen a lot of things online, and it's really nice. It's really cool.
There's one scene that I really wanted to talk to you about when I got this interview confirmed. I was excited. I mean, it's the library scene, right? I mean, it's an amazing scene. It's one of my favorite scenes of the whole show, of the whole season. What can you tell me about that scene?
It was really fun to shoot. We were there pretty much all day, and yeah, we just kind of when we were in the library, and we were rustling around the bookshelves and such. It was really cool because to see my stunt double get kicked into the bookshelf, that was really awesome. And when I first saw her, my stunt double, it looked like a clone of myself. Yeah. It was really, really cool.
It's funny how obviously, like, it's funny because it's funny because I spoke to OK about this, who plays Sean, who's Kenny's brother in Cobra Kai, right?
Yeah.
And with the stunt doubles and everything, because we were talking about that big scene he had in season 3, I look back and I watch like old like Power Rangers and stuff, and I feel like that's the perfect shows to be stunt doubles because they're wearing like gear.
They're wearing masks, so you can't really see them. Yeah.
That's so true. I think a lot of people, because Zach is a bully, he is the worst. He's kind of the worst, and just like I think there's a lot of people that were like, "Oh snap!" and he gets kicked in the bookshelf. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Everyone, all of my friends were yelling at me like, "Stop bullying this kid!" It was hilarious.
What's it like? So, this is another question I had. I'm really curious to know if this was in the script or not. Because like Lapusso was we hear that from you first, right? Like you kind of, Zach kind of starts that. Like,
yeah, I noticed a lot of people are going crazy about that line.
Was that in the script?
That was in the script.
Okay.
And I love Lapusso. That is such an iconic line.
Okay, because it becomes, if you think about it, you say it, and then it's like the rest of the whole game.
Yeah. Just kind of curse throughout the series.
It's crazy. I mean, obviously, you're enjoying it now with your family, your friends, the reception and everything. Obviously, we know there's going to be a season 5 and everything. Obviously, you're talking about season 4. Is it kind of cool to think, though, about all the possibilities that if, Zach does come back, a lot of the things that could happen? Like, it's pretty cool, right? Like, you're focusing on season 4, but it's pretty cool to think about the future as well, Brock.
Oh, yeah. There's tons of things that could happen with just the show in general as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What did you think about seeing this season and watching everything unfold?
Well, actually, that's a funny story because we're currently traveling. We started traveling on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And I'm stuck in a hotel.
So you haven't seen all of it yet?
I only saw my scenes. I watched it on my phone. But these TVs in these hotels, they don't have Netflix. And we tried to get a Fire Stick so we can set it up. So I haven't seen season 4. Our whole family's wanting to watch it.
Oh.
I just know it's got to be good.
Oh, man, it is. You see your scenes? It's funny too, but you've seen your scenes, right?
Yeah. I saw my scenes.
Yeah, the library scene is so cool, right?
It's really cool. It's really nice.
Is it weird watching it back though? Like, cause you actually shot it and you lived it, right? And then, like, is that a weird thing? With kind of?
Yeah, it is pretty. It's pretty cool because watching it back, it doesn't feel like anything's changed. But when I watched it back, my voice was really high, and it just looks so different. And watching myself on screen, it's pretty weird, but at the same time, it's really intriguing.
Mm-hmm. I do have to ask though, the scene like when we see like Anthony and Leah and Dallas and everyone, the basketball scene, right? Where we see you the first time. just the facial expressions between you and Anthony, right? Where the whole like when he gets stuffed by Kenny and you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, were those? Yeah. Did you have to do a lot of takes for that? Like, was there a lot of laughing? Like, I'm just curious.
Oh yes, when me and him would exchange looks, when me and Griffin would exchange looks, and give each other, even if it was funny looks, you're just like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Especially with the characters' dynamic. It was hilarious. Sometimes we would laugh. Sometimes it would be real. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Now, your character was not in the All Valley tournament because your character is not in the dojo. Your character's not there. But I did see some behind the scenes and everything. And it looked like you were around, right, for some of the All Valley shoots and everything.
Yeah.
That must have been like, I want to know about that because everyone's there, right? Like, what was that like?
Oh yeah, no, it was awesome. So we did a celebration of the kids saying thank you to everyone, all of the crew and stuff, and we brought cupcakes, and it happened to be when they were filming the All Valley.
Oh wow!
And everyone was there.
Okay.
And by then I was a fan of the show. I knew everybody. I was so excited, and so when I would see all the people going to set, I was so intrigued, and it was really cool seeing all these people, and realizing I'm on the same show as them. It was really cool.
Well, that's the thing too, because there's so many storylines on the show, and I was talking to Nato about this as well. It's funny, like when you have situations like the All Valley tournament, you kind of see everyone, but like. You think about, you might not have ever seen them before because a lot of the kids don't really cross with the adults a lot in scenes. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing, right? So when you go to the All Valley, like everyone's there, right?
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Zach was in the crowd for the All Valley.
I don't know. Maybe he could have watched it to make fun of.
Oh my God! It's so great. I'm so happy for you. I'm excited about what could happen with your character. Do you think that, looking online, have you had a chance to kind of soak everything in and see kind of all the theories because there's a lot, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
What's that been like? looking at all that with your family and everything? Because I know a lot of the people in your family also, they're storytellers too, right? They're actors as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what's
they're
that
actors,
like, kind of having those conversations? It's interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. Being able to look online and see all of the theories and stuff like that, it's cool to see where my character could go, and it's cool. Yeah, it's really nice, and family full of actors, so
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from my mom and my dad, and yeah, it's really cool to.
What were the
be able to see.
conversations like with your mom and your dad when you booked the show? Because, people, like you said in the beginning of the interview, right? Like Cobra Kai, it's a big show. It's one of the biggest shows on the planet, global audience.
Oh, yeah.
What were kind of the discussions like that? Because it's going to be, it's a lot, right? It's going to be a lot because, you had some pretty cool scenes. So what was that like, talking to your mom and dad specifically, knowing that they're actors? I'm curious about that.
It was really cool. They were very supportive of me.
Yeah.
And when I came down, I actually hadn't watched the show.
Wow. Okay.
So I watched it when I got it, but when they found out, they were really proud of me. They were very supportive, very happy, and I was nervous to get on set, and they were just really telling me, just giving me advice and be yourself, and just when you're in front of the camera, don't ever, I don't know how to explain it, but just be yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
Be yourself.
100%.
Be Zach. Be Zach as well.
Exactly. No, for sure. It's interesting too, and I'm sure your parents, talk about this a lot, right? Because obviously, you all weren't born when the Karate Kid movies came out, but they're around and everything. Yeah. What they're doing with Dallas and Griffin, with Kenny and Anthony, is basically kind of what we kind of saw a little bit with, Johnny and Danny in the Karate, and Daniel LaRusso in the Karate Kid movies, right? With Ali, and now there's Leah, right? And, right, and I find that really, that excites me. As a big fan of the movies. And
it's just been passed on,
Exactly. And, I just love what they're doing. Have you had a chance to think about that a little bit? Has that come up at all? That they're kind of paying homage for the Karate Kids with this kind of storyline and everything?
Honestly, now that you reminded me of that, it made me realize how similar it is. Ali, Leah, Dennis, Griffin. It's really similar.
And I think that's why there's so much excitement with your character and Leah's character, because it kind of reminds people of the original rivalry, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which is so amazing. Obviously, your character is not a big fan of the video games. You actually kind of make fun of people that play video games in the show.
Yeah, make fun of the Dungeon Lord.
Yeah, exactly, and everything. I'm just curious, for Brock Duncan, hobby-wise, besides acting, are you into video games? Are you into a lot of sports? What do you like doing besides acting?
Well, about video games, I'm not really into video games that much.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of other things I like to do, I am really into music.
Yeah.
I love...
You play drums, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love making music, playing piano, playing drums, writing songs. It's really just a hobby of mine, something to keep me busy.
Yep.
I love doing that.
So it's funny because my name's Petey Beats. I play drums. That's where it came from. That was my stage name when I used to play in bands. So I play drums as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So
I love playing drums.
Who are some of your favorite bands and artists, old and new? Because I saw you rocked a Queen shirt in one of your videos, so I like that. But
love Queen. I love Queen. I love Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson is the greatest pop artist of all time.
100%. 100%. I love Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars.
Yep.
Bruno Mars is great. Steve Perry, for sure.
Yep.
I'm actually very into 80s artists. I got that from my dad. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. No, for me too. I grew up with a lot of those artists too, right? Because my dad played in a lot of bands and everything. So I grew up with Deep Purple, Boston, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's great. The soundtracks for Cobra Kai are amazing. You're a big fan of the soundtracks then, right?
They really are. I love the season 2 and the season 3 fight scenes. They have those big fight scenes, the school fight scenes and the house fight scene.
Yeah, the house.
Season 3.
The Cobra, Carol of the Cobras. Amazing. Yeah, it's so good.
Carol of the Cobras is so good. I listen to that almost every day.
Me too. It's so good.
It tells a story. It really tells a story.
Yeah.
The way the music is written and stuff.
It's amazing. I'm really curious now because, you know, you've been on the show and, you know, you've seen the fan base. Are you realizing, like, is there one thing that's kind of standing out that you're noticing of why it's such a popular show? Like, do you think it's just a combination of a lot of things? Do people just like the old characters, the new characters? Like, because people like are loving, like, people love Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think it's a mix of, not only is the storyline great,
Yep.
how, you know, how the kids are kind of taking everything how it was, like, with Daniel and Johnny.
Yep.
And they're, you know, switching it around and stuff like that. The storyline is great, but also the characters are great.
Yep.
Everyone is really, really kind. The characters are great. Everyone's dynamic is great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone's chemistry and stuff like that. I think it's such a good show because of that.
Yeah, I agree. And now we just got to see if Zach Thompson shows up at a dojo. I mean, that's the big that's the big question now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I saw it, right online. Everyone's talking about is Zach gonna join a dojo? Is Leah gonna join? Like, everyone's talking about that. Like, it hasn't even been out for a month.
Seriously, it's been out for 2 days. 2 days, and it's insane.
I knew it though. I knew it right away. When we see you, I'm like, people are gonna wonder what his next move's gonna be. And it's interesting because you might turn on Anthony because Anthony's starting to be not that much of a bully, right? Yeah. So you're not a nice guy, Zach. You know what I mean? So maybe you're gonna like side with Kenny. Right? So there's all these things, which is amazing. Thanks so much for coming on the show, man. I really enjoyed chatting with you.
Of course. I love this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Cobra Kai is streaming now on Netflix, so they can check it out, season 4. Where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything? Is that Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram.
What's the handle for that so people can check it out?
Brock Daniel Duncan official.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popturnative, youtube.com/Popturn for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Brock Duncan, who plays Zach in season 4 of Cobra Kai, streaming now on Netflix, and PD Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popturnative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.